We're going to hear next from Cory Mills, who is one of our newest members of the House Republican Conference and someone who has been directly engaged in rescue efforts over there. And I'll let him tell you a little bit about his experience because it's just as harrowing. Cory?
Thank you so much. As you just heard from the very powerful testimony of the families of those who have been taken hostage on October 7th, the barbarism that had taken place. I'm a father. I've got my prepared remarks, but I'm a father. And I can't imagine the amount of pain and grief that many of these families are facing. And very much like we won't forget America's 9/11, nor should we ever forget Israel's October 7th. I want to thank House GOP leadership and the team for everything that you guys are doing, and we will continue our prayers this morning for those families. I'd also like to recognize those brave families and for all who are dealing with this today. I'm praying for your loved one's safe return. We won't forget, and we won't give up. Just a few weeks ago, on October 7th, a horrible event occurred, and I knew that it was time to take action. You know, as Speaker Mike Johnson and the rest of the leadership has talked about, the time for talk is over and the time for action is now. On October 11th, I went into a parent country, if you will, and started conducting ground evacuations. During that time frame, I was able to successfully get 32 Americans out on the first day, personally, and 45 out the second day, going through areas of the West Bank, through Jerusalem, Tiberias, Haifa, Nazareth, and other areas, doing consolidations and making continual efforts to try and pull Americans out who have been trapped, stranded, or left behind by the Biden administration. Well, I'm honored to have been able to get more than 200 people at this point out of Israel, including a plane that we negotiated and worked with Mercury One in Glenbeck. We were able to get 159 more passengers out just a week ago. We must not forget about those who are still stranded, however, including the innocent hostages that Hamas, the Iranian-backed terrorist organization, still has in their control. The bottom line is that Joe Biden, time and time again, has proven he is not prioritizing the well-being of the American people at home or abroad. We saw it during the botched Afghan withdrawal of 2021, where I actually went over with a team of mine and conducted the first successful overland rescue of a mother and 3 children born and raised in Amarillo, Texas. We're now seeing this across the Middle East and across the world. Both times, a team of former special operations members has had to step up as a result of Joe Biden and his administration's failures to do so. While I was on the ground in Israel, I heard horror stories from the Americans who were trying to get home with no support from the State Department. And in many cases, when they would request support, they would receive an electronic form and no further follow-up. 2.5 weeks after we've gotten people out from Israel, now the State Department is trying to contact them to determine their whereabouts. They were faced with extremely limited options for travel. We're receiving absolutely no correspondence from the embassy itself. And under Joe Biden's failed foreign policy agenda, we've emboldened adversaries like the Iran-backed Hamas terrorist organizations and left our key allies vulnerable in their positions today. It has now been over a month since Hamas terrorists took innocent American hostages, and yet we have no resolution and no plan or strategy by the administration. To the families that were here with us today, I want to say that I'm praying for the safe return of your loved ones, and will continue to work with my colleagues here in the GOP leadership to hold Biden's administration accountable for their failures to protect the American lives in Afghanistan and Israel. We will not stop putting pressure on Joe Biden's administration to bring these innocent Americans home so that they can reunite with their loved ones. I want to thank you all for covering this. God bless you. God bless this leadership. God bless this great country. With that, I'll turn it over to our great whip, Mr. Tom Emmer.
Thank you, Cory.